Hey, Kevin Stimson here, and you're watching S&G TV, the place to be for the dreamer, go-getter, and action taker. Super excited. Today we have our guest, Bryanna Royal. Bryanna and her family of six sold everything to move into an RV and travel full-time. She has a virtual assistant business called Virtual Powerhouse and also runs a blog called Crazy Family Adventure. Bryanna, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. So, talk a little bit about how you got started. I'm interested because I've never met anybody who travels full time. So, I'm definitely interested to hear your backstory.
All right, for sure. Yeah, it's not normal. This is not what everyone does, and it really blows people's minds when we tell them what we do. But basically, when my husband and I got married, we bought the dream house. We built the house from scratch. We bought the perfect lot. We put a pool in the back. We had everything we thought we would need. We had kids. We had dogs. We're like, all right, we're all set. And then we kind of hit a point where we started going, you know what? We are working all week, all the time, just to pay to fix the house, put a roof
Yeah.
on the house, mow the lawn, do this, do that, and we had no fun, time to do any of the stuff we really wanted to do. So we had been talking since our oldest was 2 and said we were going to homeschool. So we were always thinking we were going to probably homeschool. So that was kind of taken care of. Then actually, my sister and I have a younger sister. She's just a couple years younger than me. Started talking about how we just wanted to do something different. So we thought about buying a duplex together and really cutting our costs and kind of having a lower burn rate so we didn't need to make as much money.
Yeah.
And then we'd share it with them and, travel now and then. So then my husband and I, being how we are, said, well, you know what? We're going to go buy an RV and try this out. So we just went and bought an RV, because that's what you do, right?
Right.
So we went and bought an RV, a Class C, a small size. Took it out on a couple of trips, went for a 2-week trip down to Florida in January, which when you live in Wisconsin, you want to be in Florida in January. So we went down there and I called my sister about a weekend. I said, Meg, I'm like, we can do this full time. Forget that. We don't need the duplex. Let's just sell everything. Let's go do this. So we got back, talked to them, and we all decided, yep, we're just going to do it. We're going to go for it. We're the type of people that my husband and I, we don't go in halfway. It's either 110% or not at all. So we said, we're not even going to keep this up in storage in case we change our mind. We're just selling it all, getting rid of it all, hitting the road, and we're going to make it work. So it took about, since we took the trip in January, it took until the following May for us to actually sell our house. So we kind of, it took about a year to get everything going and in place. And then we sold our house and haven't looked back since, and we've been on the road officially now over a year and just love it. We love the freedom it's giving us in all sorts of ways. We didn't realize it would give our family freedom. Yes, that's why we did it, but we didn't also realize that it would help us grow so much as people and just become so much more accepting of things, so much more laid back, so much more like the kids are filthy and covered in mud and dirt and
Yeah.
oh well, we live in an RV, what are we going to do? Yes, we have a shower, but it's just everything is just much more, it really helps you see what's important and what isn't and really try to focus in on that. So
I
yeah,
love
so
it.
that's kind of it.
I love it because, honestly, from my perspective, something that I really live by is doing the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing. And I go all in on everything that I want to do too. So I love that you said, one, we're not just going to, say, oh, we're going to do dab here and dip there. We're going to go all in on it. And then two, you pretty much said, okay, we're going to take the risk. We're going to do the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing and just go in and do it. So from a mentality standpoint, I'm sure you face, family members, friends, whoever who thought you were crazy, you were out of your mind, you have kids. What are you thinking? How did you kind of condition your mindset to not worry about all the noise and focus on what you really wanted to do?
Well, good or bad, I've always been the person that does what everyone else doesn't do. So I think my friends and family were prepared because I was always that person. I'm not going to do what people tell me to do. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And if it's different than what you like, I don't really care. I'm going to go do it anyways. So I think they were kind of used to that. So we were lucky that, and my husband, same thing for his family, that we were lucky that everyone was very supportive. Like we really had no one that pushed back on us. And I think that's because they all knew if they did push back on us, it wasn't going to matter anyways.
Right.
So they realized they just needed to accept it and get excited for us and happy for us. And I mean, we've been lucky that, we have that type of support. So, but I do think we kind of prepped them for it because, kind of all along we kind of done things that way. So it was, they were, I guess, not that surprised by it. But yeah, so no, we were very lucky to have a really good support system. My parents are actually in the process of selling their house. They bought a fifth wheel not long after we hit the road, and they've been following us around all over the place.
Wow.
and following my sister and her family. They're out in Yellowstone right now, but they've been following them out there too. So like we're kind of like hit or miss, and we see them all the time. So we're lucky. My parents' family actually has an RV as well. So I mean, people are kind of like, all right, yeah, this is cool. We'll come meet you. So again, we're lucky we have that good support system.
Trendsetters over there. I like it.
That's right. That's
That's cool.
right.
So, like, are you passionate? Are you guys passionate about traveling? Like, when did you figure out this was something that we really wanted to do? I know you said you weren't having any fun. You guys was, working so much hours, you didn't have time to enjoy yourselves. Were you passionate around like just getting out there and visiting different areas, or what?
I wouldn't say that we were like big, like passionate travelers. We always like, I mean, we went to like Cancun, Mexico like 7 times before we got, had kids,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't call that like your big exploring trips or anything like that.
Right.
No, I think we just hit a point where it was like, how many times do people talk about, I can't wait to, go out west, or I can't wait to see this, or I can't wait to see that. But to go out west, you can't do that in a week. And we started realizing like we need like huge chunks of time to really be able to go and see and do everything that we want to do. And I think that was just kind of what got us. I mean, I guess my husband will say like I get bored easily.
Yeah.
So I do. So I get bored easily. So for me, like it's awesome that we're going to all these new places all the time. So I think it was more that then led into the fact that like travel is going to give us this opportunity to constantly change, see new things, do new things. So that's kind of grown our passion now for it to be travel and to see new things, but it didn't start as travel. It started more as being bored and
Right.
wanting to see new and different things and experience it, and then led into that travel would do that for us. So
Cool. So, how does the whole scheduling work? Do you say, okay, this week we're going to be here, next week we're going to be there? How do you kind of set that up?
it's, I mean, good or bad, it's totally at our freedom to go
Right.
and do, what we want to do, which is a scary thing because guess what? No one's telling you have to be here at this time, there at that time.
Hmm.
So we really, it takes a lot of work to sit down and kind of plan out your schedule and say, this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. To be totally honest, I did not realize it was so cold in the rest of the country in January and February. I figured like, oh, if we just head down kind of to Georgia, it'll be fine. And it's like, no, it is like freezing in Georgia in January and February. So
Really?
obviously in the winter, you go way south. So like we did the Florida Keys last year and all that. So that kind of limits where you can go in those time frames. I know Southern California you could do and some in Arizona and things like that. But
Hmm.
so that kind of limits that weather-wise, obviously, is kind of, a driving factor behind it. Currently, my husband works a 9 to 5 job, actually out of University of Wisconsin Parkside. So he had to be home about every 8 to 9 weeks. So that kind of limited us too. So we only went so far, so we could circle back around.
Hmm.
We're in the process of trying to extend that so that we can go for longer stretches. And that being the case, then it's really just a matter of us, what haven't we seen? Let's go see it. And then also keeping in mind the ages of our kids and saying, like, yeah, they're not going to like to go into museums, a ton of times. They need space to just run and play. So what's going to offer them that opportunity as well? And we like hiking and being outdoors and, kind of matching that
Hmm.
stuff up too. Plus, what campsite's the cheapest? Where can we drive the RV? There's a lot of factors that come into play.
Right. Okay. I went to your website and I saw a term called unschooling. Can you talk a little bit about that and what
Oh,
that
that's
is?
going to open a whole nother can of worms. You sure you want to go there? Okay, so yes, we homeschool, and then within homeschooling, there's a ton of different, ways you can do it, different curriculums, different philosophies. You got your Montessori, you got your eclectic, you got your unschooling. I mean, there's probably like 100 of them out there. So
Hmm.
we chose to go the unschooling route with the focus on radical unschooling, which means that it's pretty much to say child-led isn't accurate, but we go off of their interest.
Hmm.
So we don't use any textbooks, we don't use any curriculum, we don't use any testing, any worksheets, anything like that. The majority of their learning is done experience-based. It's done through playing Minecraft. It's done through watching a TV show that they enjoy. It's going and seeing all these cool places, like
Right.
perfect, right? So it's really based on all of that. So they will never, if we continue down this path, which part of it is if they say to us, we want to go to school, we by all means will explore that option. Assuming they don't, they will never have any testing done, any worksheets, anything like that. It's very learn as you go, learn what you're passionate about. If you're focused into something, then we'll spend the next 5 months just focusing on that topic, and kind of, driving things that way.
I love it. That sounds like a real cool like paradigm to really follow. Cause I mean, were you brought up that way, or do you know anyone who was brought up that way?
No, my parents are actually retired school teachers. Go
Oh.
figure, right? But my mom said, you will not put your kids in public school. You need to look at other options. So being a retired school teacher coming from her was kind of like, okay, like we need to really look into this. So, so no, I was brought up in public school, the whole deal. I was like homecoming queen, captain of the soccer team, the whole like way you do public school. That was totally
Yeah.
what I did. But times are changing now. Things are just different now, and I think technology, especially, moves things so quickly that in schools just can't keep up with the world nowadays.
Of course.
So we our research shows us that this way is going to allow our kids to potentially have the tools to be entrepreneurs, to be those trendsetters, to be the people that are out there because they've lived their life where they've been able to dictate what they want to do, drive to their passions, do all of that and not be held back by the restraints of what public school does. And I totally support public school because
Mm-hmm.
public school needs to be there because there's families and kids and people that can't do what we do. So by all means, I think it's a great thing, but we have this awesome opportunity to give our kids something
Oh
else. So
yeah.
we're going to take it and go with
I
it.
love it. I love it. So, what does success mean to you? Because, from my perspective, I think you guys, what you're doing, like you're successful, and that's cool. I'm sure that 90% of people who live in North America or the United States wish that they can do those things. What does success mean to you?
Success means to me that you're happy.
Plain
And
and
that's what
simple.
it comes down to. Plain and simple, that you're happy. We are not grooming our kids to be CIOs of companies or presidents or anything that they want to be and they're going to be happy, go for it, do it. If they want to be an artist and make, $10,000 a year and they are happy and can support themselves, then do it. So it's all about just being happy is our biggest success trait. That we think is the most important. And my husband and I, as we talk about like our family mission statement, a big thing for us too is just we want to be accepting people. We want our kids to grow up being accepting. We want our kids to feel comfortable in all different settings, all different environments. We want them to, look at everyone the same way and give everyone the benefit of the doubt and
Yeah.
just live a life where you're happy and there's not much negativity and there's not, much just people get so upset about such stupid things nowadays. We just
Yeah.
want them to be happy and enjoy life and make the most of it.
That's what
So
it's about. That's what it's about. So if you were to give any kind of advice to somebody who wanted to live this kind of lifestyle, what advice would you give? I know you said that you guys pretty much sold all your stuff, assuming you both were in IT, so you were making some decent money and things like that. People who just live in basic average lifestyles, how can they transition into this?
well, see, first of all, we weren't making big money, so we were surviving under six figures. So it wasn't like
Right.
we had some crazy savings account or some crazy trust fund that made us do this, allowed us to do this or anything like that. So really, the best advice I can give is if you want to do it, do it. There's nothing holding anyone back from living this lifestyle. You just have to be willing to take on the risk. You have to be willing to go into your boss at work and talk to your boss and say, hey, what do you think about me working from home for X amount of time? And maybe you can't go as extreme as what we went, but my husband is the first person at his job that got the opportunity to do this because he went and asked. And he asked again and again. And he showed him he could do it. So it's
Yeah.
you just have to be willing to go for it. And my husband always laughs at me because I always totally say, like, just do it. You just got to do it. You just do it. But that's
Yeah.
totally like my personality. Like, if you want to do it, like, just go do it. Like, no one's standing in your way. Just figure out how to do it and make it happen. But outside of that, if you're truly looking like for advice, there are we belong to a group called Full Time Families,
Hmm.
and it's a website that's all families that are doing exactly what we're doing, and they have a lot of resources out there that kind of help guide you along on the path of what you might really potentially need to do. Talk about different ways to make money, things like that. But as I'm sure you'll agree, sign up for B School and start your own online business, and you're good to go.
Exactly. There you go.
But yeah, and I like to be open with it because I think people do think it's like this crazy thing. So if anyone has any questions, by all means, feel free to send me a message, through our Facebook page for Crazy Family Venture, through the blog. Any way you can get a hold of me, and by all means, I'll help, any way that I can. But it's not easy. It's not
Right.
easy to get to this point. It takes dedication, and you just got to stick with it. And if you do, you can reach your dreams. So.
So, talking about how it's not easy and being dedicated and all that kind of stuff, tell us a little bit about the challenges that you've run into pursuing your dreams and living, your life to the fullest and all that kind of stuff.
If we get down into like just actual task oriented type of stuff, I mean, we had a 3,000 square foot house, and we had like our basement was like Toys R Us. Like it had every single toy in it you could possibly imagine. So downsizing that to fit into a 400 square foot RV.
Yeah.
Like multiple times, I would tell them, "Why wouldn't everyone do this?" And then once we started doing that process, I went, "Oh, this is why everyone doesn't do it." It was crazy, like a huge like challenge. So that was very hard to get past that point. And then it's been hard leaving our family, and going and traveling because we were all located in the same city and very close with our family. So it's definitely been a challenge, doing that. But again, it's just looking at what we're bringing to our kids by doing this and to ourselves and how excited we are about it. The other challenges is, I mean, we're on the road. We're not on vacation all the time.
Right.
I think people think like, oh, they're just living on vacation. It's like, no, my husband's working 40 hours a week right now, and then I'm working 30 hours a week on top of that, and we have 4 kids. We have 2 dogs. Like, our life is still our life, so it's also having to get yourself out of that mindset that you're going to be like drinking margaritas on the beach all year and, someone's going to be paying the bill. Like, you have to be able to schedule that time in and to make it still a priority, and that's been a challenge too. But outside of that, I guess now we kind of feel like when we're faced with a challenge, we just deal with it and, you just get over it and move on. And luckily everyone's healthy because, I mean, that's the other thing. Like we've got healthy kids, we're healthy. Let's go do it while we can and, all that. So, no, again, you just got to do it.
All right, there you go. Talk a little about the hustle. You have your 4 kids, you have your 2 big dogs, you have your husband, you have the online business that you're running as well. How are you able to manage and juggle all those different things at once?
I just don't sleep.
That's good to know.
Yeah. No, it would not work if my husband and I were not on the same page, if we weren't partners in this. So I think it is important to have a partner that you see, eye to eye on things. You both know what the end goal is. And I think a big part of it too is we have a goal in our head. We have a time frame in our head that we want to get to a certain point. And it's just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until we get to that point. And again, this lifestyle is not for everyone because it is that. It's a hustle all the time. I mean, constantly. Like, we don't know where we're going to be living next week. Like, everything is constantly, like, you have to always be focusing and moving and changing and looking and experiencing and trying and doing. And there's no rest, in the mix. So, I don't know. I think it's just my personality kind of lends to being able to hustle my way, hustle through it. So I don't know if I can say it's this or that, or just, again, just having the mindset that you want to do it and not letting anything get in your way.
Cool. So what can our striving grinders learn a little bit about all the experiences that you've had? So from a self-help or a personal growth perspective, all those kinds of experiences that you've had on your a little bit over a year journey, what can we take away from that?
Don't be afraid would be what I think you take away from it. If you have a dream and you feel like, oh, I can't do it, I'm not capable of, I don't know how to do it, fake it till you make it. Don't be afraid of it. Go after what it is that you want, and don't let anyone stand in your way sounds a little bit too negative, because you need people with you to make what we're doing work. But don't let things, I guess, stand in your way. Don't let fear stand in your way. Don't let a fear of failure stand in your way. That fear of, oh my gosh, you don't have a house. What are you going to do if everything falls apart? We'll figure it out. So, just have that mindset that no matter what happens, you'll get through it, you'll figure it out, you'll make it work, and don't let the fear stop you from doing something that you want to do.
Love it. What are your thoughts on being mediocre or being average? I kind of, based off of our conversation we've already had, I think I already know it, but I want to hear it from your mouth.
Okay, so I can never let myself be that person.
Right.
But I think it's okay that people are. So again, part of that accepting idea. If you are happy in your box and in your day-to-day life, and you like your 9 to 5 and you're content and everything's good, I'm happy for you. But me personally, that's not me. That's not what I do. That's not who I am. And if you're not that person, don't be that person. Be that amazing person. Don't sit in the box because someone tells you have to be there. Get out of the box and do your thing if that's what it is you want to do. And if it's not, more power to you, but that's just not me.
Right. Okay. What's an average day like, or a typical day like for you? So what was your day like today?
So today, let me remember what we did today. Today was actually a little bit different because we're actually parked in my parents' driveway right now,
Okay.
visiting them up in Wisconsin. But normally, if we were out somewhere where we were exploring and it was a weekday, I would get up, my husband and I would get up with the kids, do our normal, get the kids ready. They'd probably watch TV for a little while. I work for a couple hours, he's working. Then we kind of, do lunch with everyone, and then we head out to start exploring. So it's going into the GPS system and plugging in some address that we found of maybe it is a cool children's museum or a cool hiking place, or we went and made ice cream the other day. We went to this Turkey Hill ice cream factory with the kids, and they got to make their own ice cream from scratch. And so we really just find a cool place, and then we head out, we hit the road, and I take the kids and we go and do that for a few hours. My husband stays back and works, and then when we come back, then he'll take the kids and he'll take them usually down to, like, if there's a swimming pool at the campground, or if they have like a rec hall or something like that. Again, if there's trails to hike on or somewhere to bike, he'll take them and go do that, and then I'll work, and then we come back and kind of do your typical normal bedtime routine, and then do it all over again the next day. And we look forward to the weekends when then my husband can come with us. So we did like Washington D.C. in a day. We just took off and for the whole day went to Washington D.C. and did everything in a day because that was all the time we had at that point. We've done Philadelphia in a day, did the same thing. We just did Niagara Falls. So we try to plan all of our big trips around when he's off on the weekends. And then during the week, I kind of take them and do, some of the little things here and there that I can do by myself, the four of them. So.
Wow, you guys are really living the dream. That's that's pretty awesome. I got to give it to you. So what characteristics would you attribute to you being able to tap into and unleash your inner greatness?
Oh, geez. Characteristics. I'm a go-getter. I get stuff done. So it's just really, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it just because you said I can't. So I'm one of those kind of people. If I put a goal or I put something in front of me, like, I have to achieve it. And I'm not okay with mediocre myself, and I'm not okay if I'm working with someone. My husband will tell me all the time, just relax. I'm like, no, you pick it up. So like that idea that I expect a lot out of people, and I expect a lot out of life, but I also give a lot. So I think it's just a matter of just being a go-getter, getting things done, and not settling until I'm at that place where I feel like I should be, and kind of what I deserve, but also what I've worked to deserve.
Right, and that's what we're about, being a dreamer, a go-getter, and an action taker. And it seems like you're doing all three of those things, so I love it. Give us an action that our striving gardeners could take today to get us closer to realizing our dream.
Okay, an action you can start with today. Do one thing today that you are afraid to do. As little as it could be, if it could be a matter of wearing a shirt you think doesn't look good on you. Yeah. Or if it could be getting that haircut that you just are like, oh my gosh, it's going to look terrible on me. I mean, something as simple as that, but then also set a goal to do something that you're afraid of within the next month. And maybe that might be, again, traveling to some unknown place, or going out and talking to a person that you wish you were friends with and you're not, or going to your boss and asking, for a promotion, or if you don't feel comfortable asking for promotion, asking, what can I do to get that promotion in the next 6 months? Just something you're afraid of. Make goals for yourself now, and each day do little things and then lead up to the bigger things.
That's so big. Like, I love the fact of just tackling our fear head on, because you really feel invincible once you can do that. Like, everything else seems a lot more easy once you're able to do that. So, I like that.
Exactly. And then all the things you were so afraid of seem so stupid.
Yeah, trivial.
After the fact.
Yeah, I agree. So we're wrapping it up now. So, this is a question we ask all of our guests who come on Striving Grind. What does Striving Grind mean to you?
Striving Grind to me means just do what you want to do. Get out there, get it done, do what you want to do, and anything's possible. Just strive for it, grind for it, make it happen. It's all out there for you to take and do. Don't let anything stop you.
Just go out there and make it happen.
Yeah.
Love it. What can we expect from you next, Bryanna?
We're hoping to take our blog to the next level, so keep an eye on Crazy Family Adventure. We're really focusing on trying to build it to be one of the top travel blogs for families that are looking to get out and travel. Right now, U.S.-based, but we're looking to do international too in the future. So definitely keep an eye on that. And then our virtual powerhouse business, we actually haven't even officially launched it yet we have 15 clients, so I'm not sure
that's pretty cool.
How that happened. Yeah, no, not complaining. But look for the virtual powerhouse too to just be hopefully coming out there and spreading the word about that and just helping other people, build their businesses, live their dream, and do what they need with their business. So
love it. We'll definitely add both of your businesses to our show notes. Where can we find out more about you?
The best place to find out more about me would be through the Virtual Powerhouse. Just to, again, you can, see my picture out there, read a little bit about me. Crazy Family Adventure, I do a daily post on Facebook, so you'll learn a little bit more about me that way too. Not that I'm ever in the pictures, but I'm always the one posting them and writing about them, so it would help you learn more about me that way too. From a personal level, I'm a mom, so that whole personal level thing, it's never about me. It's always about the family and about everything else, so I don't have a lot of information just about me, but maybe I need to do that. I might need to add that to my list. So
just a little bit, inspire all the other moms out there. So
yeah, no, that's a really good point. I need to figure out how I can tie that into everything I'm doing. I like that.
Absolutely. Bryanna, thank you so much for coming on the SNG TV. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really had a lot of fun. I think what you guys are doing with your business is awesome. You're doing a great job with it, so keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. For all our striving grinders out there, please like us on Facebook, Instagram, follow us, and until next time, keep striving, keep grinding.